you go from soul food to vampires?
Where they do that
at? Why'd you do that?
I appreciate that question. It really is the child of soul food from the point of view. Stay with me.
Okay, because I'm like, where's she going now?
Okay, from the point of view of delving into and the exploration of the Black family.
Okay.
Because where we haven't seen time to see the Black family is in genre.
Okay.
So when you see the way they interact, when you see the stuff that happens at home, when you see the Black mama who is not to be messed with, all of that, you'll be like, it is the child of soul food. Because it very much is this family and the family dynamics and, how they treat each other, and what at the center of all of it is love, even when they disagree, whenever, family first. And that was absolutely what soul food was about, family first, no matter what's going on. I might hate you today, but if it comes down to it, family is first.
Okay, I was like, where's she going? But you got me.
Okay,
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Because girl, I was like, I can only recall two different projects where I saw Black vampires. One was Death by Temptation with Kadeem Hardison, and the other one was Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy.
So, yes.
You know what I mean? And so I was like, is this a campy show? Like, what is this happening? And then I read the description, and it talked about family, and I knew that you were the creator of Soul Food. So I'm like, okay, let's see how we're gonna bring this full circle and around.
That's right. And then it's always, when you talk about sort of that the breadth of my work in that way. And this, whenever we start in something that finally we are in the place that is at least in the field we want to be in, you get in where you fit in. So I started in sitcoms, and I was very happy and blessed, and, because I wanted to be a writer. And so the first job, you take those jobs. I tell the, kids I mentor, and they're like, should I take the job pouring coffee? Yes, you should. So I believe in that, but truly, Carla, like I've been reading comic books since I was 8 or 9.
I was about to say, I read that you said you were a true blerd at heart.
Yeah, it is very true. Like, so that might not have been where my career started as a writer, right? Was writing that, but it was part of who I was. So in some ways, this feels very natural and right to me in terms of my personal interest finally, my professional interest finally catching up to my personal interest. You know what I mean? So, and being able to bring everything together that I love. I love writing about family. I love writing about, in the YA space, about messy teenagers. And I love writing about family, and that I, love genre. Before this, I came off of The Punisher, so it's what I love. So being able to go, but that was all action and murder and mayhem, so being able to go, I'll take some family and some murder and mayhem
and throw them together.
I'm in heaven.
Listen, I am not mad at you. And just to bring it all full circle, tell me about, I read something about Victoria V.E. Schwab anthology of books and how that brought you to First Kill.
Yeah, so Victoria Schwab also writes under the pen name V.E. Schwab. She wrote a short story. She's very, very successful in this space, multiple times on the New York Times bestseller list. So she's a force to be reckoned with. But she wrote this short story called First Kill that's in an anthology called Vampires Never Get Old. And from that, and Netflix saw that short story, loved it, and asked her to adapt it for television. So Victoria wrote the pilot, and then they were looking for a head writer, showrunner, and reached out to my manager. And he was like, I know your plate is full. I'm like, my plate is beyond full. But I think this might be for you. And I very, very reluctantly read the script, and I loved it. I was like I just told you, I'm like, it's everything I love. It's family, it's genre, it's action, it's strong women at the center, it's everything. So I'm like, yes, I'll take that meeting. So I was then, was hired, and they brought me in to, one, take a look at that pilot script and look at, and I love Victoria for this because she really took it upon herself and said, they're not enough, as a white woman, there are not enough Black folks in vampire and, and in genre. And I want to create something where they are. But she then was also smart enough, as was Netlix, to say, but I'm not that. And so let's go find that. And my hat goes off to Netlix and to her to know that what I brought to the table is what was missing from the table. And
I love that.
Yeah. And so I had mad respect for that. And then gave me the freedom to go, let me take a stab at this Black family so that I could add a little, cultural specificity to them. Not saying all Black people are the same. We are not monolithic, but there's some truisms that I knew would resonate, and also a way to sort of differentiate, if you will, the white family of vampires and how they interact from the Black, to celebrate difference. Difference is not the problem. It's in our world, they're always like, well, if we just focus on what we have in common, I don't believe in that. I think if we just respect how we are different and learn from each other, then the world will be a better place. So for me, I lean into how they're different. Difference is not the enemy. It is a lack of respect for difference, right? So I lean into, in Calliope's home, her brothers know, talk the wrong way, and your mama might just say, you must have somewhere else to live if you're talking to me like that. Whereas in Juliet's house, there's more, let's talk to her and find out what's wrong with her and why is our child behaving, so there's more of that, and maybe perhaps a little more agency for Juliet, because Juliet doesn't have the burden of her Blackness that Calliope has. And so I wanted to lean into all of that. I didn't want to run away from all of that. I wanted to lean into it and treat it as special as opposed to something to stay away from.
Well, listen, I got mad respect for you. I'm so glad that you carved out some time in your schedule because you are mad busy, as you have already stated. So I really appreciate the fact that
I appreciate you wanting to talk to me. And when you say I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, I'm like, why haven't we talked then?
I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time because I've seen all of your work, and I admire and I respect what you do as a woman of color in this space. And I also respect the fact that you are a woman of color that is delving outside of the norm into genre like Jordan Peele has, and so many others are starting to do. So thank you for that. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, and including my name in any conversation with Jordan Peele is an honor. So thank you for that. And I appreciate you again for taking this time. I can't wait for you to see the show. I think you're going to love it. And I look forward to hearing what you think about it. We're partying on Thursday night, and then the show drops at midnight all over the world in 190 countries, all at the same time.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that too, because what we're doing, for representation of Black folks, for representation of queer love, for representation of young girls who don't get to see, who may, for whoever you love, just putting that at the center and going, no big deal. This show isn't about who you love. It's about the fact that you're a three-dimensional human being with thoughts and ideas and goals and dreams. We're going to focus on all of that. And that so many people are going to get to see us do it. Yay.
Yay. Well, it's dropping right on time because this is Pride Month. So
yes.
It's dropping right on time. All right, Miss Felicia Henderson, party and get a cocktail for me on Thursday.
I will do that. Thank you so much for your time, Carla.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.